Okay, in this video, I'm going to go through a run through of the complete document formatting question paper. This is from the Specimen for syllabus 16, paper 2. So I've already set the margins and the page size and the orientation. I'm just going to add the headers because there's a slightly different way of doing it with this particular document. So I just want you to see how to do it. So I'm on question 3. I'm just going to enter the head in the header, the name, candidate number, and center number. So I'll just, if you just double click at the top of the page, and it will open the header up. And so I need to put my name and candidate number. And then the center number should be right aligned. So I'll just put that in. Okay, so you'll notice that the center number is not exactly left aligned, and it should be. So you need to make sure the ruler is on so that you can check your alignments to the margins. So if you look here, that's not properly aligned. You'll see this tiny little anchor, and we need to actually move that over to the so it's properly aligned with the margin. So I'm just going to select that and just drag it over like that, and then that will ensure that my center number is properly aligned to that margin. I'm just going to move it back slightly. Just to make sure that's properly aligned. So it should be like that. You need to check that all of the things you add in the headers and footers are properly aligned. I'm actually going to, yeah, okay. So I'm just going to go into the footer now and just check what needs to be added there. So I should add the file name and the date. So I'll add the file name, quick parts, field, and file name. So you know I've done this in a previous video. Again, with this question, it doesn't ask for the path, it just asks for the file name. So I'm just going to add the file name. You would have had to save it with a new file name in Word format before adding the file name. So I'll just add that. So there's my file name. Again, check that that's aligned correctly. And then I will just click on the tab on my keyboard to move it over to the right. And then I will add the date. As I've said before, you need to check the format that you've been asked to put the date in. It doesn't specify in this question, so I'm just putting the first one that's available to me. And just double check that. So that is properly aligned there as well. And then you just need to make sure that the headers and footers are on each page. So I'm just going to double click anywhere else in the document, and then that will close the header and footer. And as you can see, it's on both pages. Okay, question 4 I've done in a previous video, which is creating the house style for this question. So I'm just going to move on to question 5. I'm going to put this heading in. It says to insert a blank line at the start of the document. So here it is, and it says to apply the title style to this text. So you would have already created the title style when you did your house style. So you just need to click here to open all my styles that are available and find the title one and select that. So you highlight the text first and then select the style from the quick styles pane. And that's now set that to the heading style. If you notice here, because I copied and pasted this in, it's actually put part of the heading on the other line. So what I need to do here is also make sure that that's formatted as well. Okay, so you will need to double check. Obviously for you, you will be typing in this information, but when you copy and paste, sometimes it can put in slight formatting errors, so you need to check. So after my title, I now need to put in the subtitle, and then I'm going to set that as the subtitle style. So I'll just highlight that again and go here and find my subtitle, which is this one. And so that's now set that to that style. And then it says, after the subtitle, format the rest of the document as body text, and it should be 2 equally spaced columns with a 1 centimeter gap. So I will highlight all the text under the subheading, and then I'm going to just set them as columns first. So 2 columns, so I need to go to more columns, 2, and set my spacing to 1. And before I unselect the text, I'm just going to go back to the Home tab and find the body text format, and I'm going to set that. Now, if you notice, not all of it's set properly here, so I'm just going to click on that again. Yeah, sometimes you have to double click. You will need to do a visual check of all of your text to ensure that it's formatted properly. That's going to be really important, especially at the end of the exam when you finish everything. So I need to now put this subheading, a major regional port, in the left column before the first paragraph. So I'm basically adding that here. And I then need to identify all the subheadings and apply the subheading style to each one. So I'm going to highlight. You just need to hold down Control, and that will allow you to highlight different parts of text without cancelling out others. So here's another one here, the waterfront. Oh, this one is another one, storage and car exports. I'm just going to double check that I've done them all. Some question papers, it tells you how many there are. This one doesn't, so you do need to be careful and check your text carefully to ensure that you've selected all of the subheadings. So I think that's it. So now I'm going to look for the subheading style. Here it is. And that's it. Again, you just want to check that they've been applied appropriately. Okay, and then I need to put in this table in another document and put it at the end of the document. So I'm just going to find this file, which is in here. This one I need to open, and I'm just going to copy it and paste it into my document at the very end. So it's now here. Now it's split at the moment. So once I finish formatting it, I will then ensure that it's not split, because it shouldn't be split. Okay. It says make sure the table fits within the column width and apply the body text style to the text in the table. I'm just going to close this now because I'm finished with that. I'll just select it and then go to body text. So that's now formatted that as my body text. I'm not happy with that being where it is, but there's a little bit more formatting to do to this. So it should be, so I need to merge the cells in the top row of the table across the 5 columns. So I'm just going to highlight this whole row and then right click and go to merge cells like that. And then it says that I need to format this row to be center aligned and underlined. So center aligned and underlined. And I need to apply a light grey, 20 to 40% shading to the top 2 rows of the table. So I'll highlight the top 2 rows and then go into my fill bucket, which is here, the shading. And I need to look for something, a grey shade that's between 20 to 40%. So that's 35, so that's actually fine. Is that 35? You need to hover over it until you can actually see the percentage. I'll just use this one, which is 25. Okay, so that's that. And it then says that we need to set all the borders of the table to be visible when printed. They are actually visible, but if you're not sure, I'm now going to just move this so it's together, and then I can check. As you can see, this is not within the column, the margins of the, so I'm just going to click off of my table, and then I'll see the actual margins of the column, and that's slightly out. So I need to adjust this. So I'll just move it over, and then I need to check the other one. So click off of the table, click on your margin, and again that's slightly over. So I'm going to just adjust that as well. So as you can see, my last set of data is kind of moved under itself, it's wrapped. So I'm just going to try and adjust my column slightly so that I can fit everything as I need it without the data being wrapped like that. So it just takes a little bit of adjustment. I just might adjust that slightly out because I think, let me just check now. Yeah, that's dead on, so that's fine, and this side is fine as well. So that's how that should look. So the borders, to check that the borders are visible, if you just do a print preview, so go up to the Office button, print preview, and the borders are visible. As you can see, when it's printed, I'll see all the borders. It's probably a good time to save it as well. You should be saving your document regularly, just in case there are any issues with the software when you're in the exam. Then it says we need to put this image in and resize it to a height of 3 centimeters. So it should be on the first page below the subheading, a major regional port, and it should be aligned with the top of the first paragraph. So I'm just going to find where I need to put it. So it should be here basically. So just put your cursor in the correct position to start with. That will save you having to move it around. And then just go to Insert Picture. And I need to find the picture. And it's this one. I'll just insert. Okay, so now I need to adjust it according to the question. So it should be 3 centimeters in height and maintain the aspect ratio. So you know what that means. That basically means that if I click on size here, we keep the aspect ratio locked here, so that as we change the height, the width will also be relative to the height. So it will maintain the original proportions of the image. So if I now do that, so it's now adjusted that. I need to wrap this as square so that the text moves around it like that, because it should be aligned to the top of that paragraph. I might just use my arrow keys to move it down slightly, because just to make sure it's properly aligned with this first sentence, which it is. I'm happy with that. And just check the image that you've been given as well. So it should look like this. Okay. The chart I'm going to do in a separate video, so I will come back when the chart is done.